What's good, Renegades, the book club? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. I'm back at it with some new Ren. This is Vincent's Tell the Bedroom. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. OG members, what is good? I do have a Ren playlist. I'm pretty sure it's over 40 videos that I have reacted to, and I know not all of y'all have watched them. I have seen from the first one of like 30,000 views to currently, and I'm like, there seems to be a disconnect. But hey, we're here, so if you're here now, definitely check that out. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get straight into this. Vincent's Tale. Splotch, splotch, splotch the bed. And a YouTuber shared like this rant, everything is connected. I'm gonna be reacting to that.
Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent.
Hold on, Red. Hold on. Let's talk about that shred. You know, it's crazy because it's like you can, with the way that he was doing that, it's like there was no words that was need to be said because it almost felt like that pain, that rebellion, that, just it was like all spoken through that. That was amazing. I didn't want to stop it, because I wanted him to shred on, you know what I mean? But dang, to introduce to set this up from that is freaking dope. And of course, like if this is like a continuation or whatever from the other Vincent's Tale, him being in, it seems like this holding cell or just jail in general. And you could tell there's just this level of like hunger with this that I'm feeling. It's like he's come back with this vigor, you know what I mean? And it's dope.
Felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below. Same thing, wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contort insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny bin. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too deep.
Ooh. Ooh. It's so deep, and it's interesting because we see how these cycles play out. And for me, it's dope because I was having this conversation, and I don't think that we were made to have as far as access to everybody in the way that we do for especially if you're not like, I think in general a lot of us on a daily basis take in and interact with more people in like a day or a week or a month than people several decades ago did in their whole entire lives. You know what I mean? And I think that for one, it's cool in the sense that, again, I'm hearing a perspective from a place other than my own, but then I sit up there and think about it. If for me, I get inspired by this, but other people may not be artists. Other people may not create, and so when I think about the access, whether social media or anything like that, to information and different things like that, I think about like, what are you doing with that information? Any type of information, because we see people, they get hot about a particular topic or hot about, something that is going on. They feel passionate about it. Some people do actually take action, but when I sit there and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, how do you, balance and not get into a spiral, in a way to, some of the stories that Rin tells, because I hear these stories, and though the stories aren't in America, there's similarities of what I've seen, or what I've researched, or, what I've experienced, and so it's dope to tell these stories and highlight them, you know, and what do we do with that? You know what I mean? What do we do with that? Because I constantly think when creating and different things like that, like what am I trying to do with it? It's not this financial gain or anything like that. It is creation, you know. But this is dope. This is dope. The words he's saying are deep. They get me talking. They get me talking. And him just talking about like Vincent's origin. It's like, oof, flask. And I think
So
that's a
it
Vincent Van
goes.
Gogh painting
Vinny
in the
starts to
back.
drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so we don't have to think. Mercy tastes bittersweet when the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth. And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose, bad decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to? One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
the different paintings, the different Van Gogh paintings. Richard's Tale. Oh snap! Oh, there's
Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, food is up, chop, chop. Keep that credit top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned the hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9. For his crimes timelines intersect. Richard's fate was designed. Just set the scene, it's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and reach. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Thoughts a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absent leave. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself. And there's nowhere to go. And his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. And his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mo, no rebound, no yo-yo. And so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth. The dying womb life brings. The cycle of samsara always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talked up. The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will.
Ooh, this is so dope. I know we've been waiting for Richard's Tale, man. Telegenius, Screech, freaking Violent. What is going on? It is the red multiverse of madness. No, this is dope. This is dope. I'm liking the way that this is, man. Like him being able to connect everything. And what's dope is him and what's going on as far as with Vincent's Tale, but also as far as the stuff he's been, bringing the storylines together, you know what I mean? That's why I'm excited to watch that video where there's this YouTuber made a video that was like everything's connected, and I'm curious, like if he's gonna make a new one now that this is out, but this is dope. I'm sitting up there like, yo, this is like a straight up a movie, and just the callbacks. That's why I'm just all like, it's just like this universe. I'm like, this is fire.
Smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The second stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger, damn the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are. We all are damn forsaken by creation, revelations. Richard cannot stand. The third stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numb overwhelming of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance.
I don't know, is Richard gonna get clapped or is he gonna clap another person?
Souls get shaken up. The road's never quite ideal, but slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud, cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash. I mean, what could go wrong?
Before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Yeah, these are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase all of that in the link in the description. And just, check it out, because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So oh shit. Oh, this was fire. I'm like, yo, I'm so invested. No, this was wow. Wow. A part of me is just like with the last part of Richard, I'm just all like, was this all like, it almost seemed like a sarcastic tune, but I'm all like, was that showing what had happened like the day where he shot Screech or something? Like, all of that leading up where he had already shot somebody and he went as far as, to everything, was getting, help. Ren was explaining the, 5 stages, of grief and everything like that. And then did he go back out and he's just like, what could go wrong? Da, 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 da. And then he went and, ended up killing somebody else. So that's why I didn't know that Richard's Tale was gonna be here. So that was just a surprise in general from the Vincent's Tale, and then diving into that. Like I said, it's interesting because the Vincent Van Gogh paintings and him, I think, naming the songs after the names of the paintings, but also setting this tale as far as Jenny Screech, Violet, which like everybody all together and interconnected, and how that connects as far as with Vincent, or the spirit of Vincent, and the spirit through art and creativity, but also these demons that are being wrestled. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it was dope. It was dope. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know y'all's theories and everything in the comments. What's the composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 10K. Make sure to check the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.